There comes a time in life, usually after 60, sometimes a little later, when you realize help isn't guaranteed. Not from your kids, not from your brothers or sisters, not even from the friends you thought would always be there. It sneaks up on you. Maybe it's the day you struggle to lift a grocery bag and nobody's around, or when you wait for a phone call that never comes. And in that quiet moment, it feels like standing at the edge of a cliff with nothing to hold on to. But here's the surprising part. That realization doesn't have to leave you scared or bitter. It can be the doorway to something better, a different kind of safety net, one you build for yourself, one that doesn't disappear when people get busy or drift away. Today, I want to walk you through 5 supports you can build after 70 that will carry you through, no matter what. They don't rely on anyone else. They're yours. And when they're in place, you'll discover that being steady on your own feels a lot like freedom. Before we dive in, if you find comfort in honest conversations like this, hit subscribe. We share stories that don't just pass time, they help make sense of it. If there's one kind of support that matters most, it's the ability to move on your own. Mobility is freedom. It's dignity. It's being able to swing your legs over the side of the bed, stand up, and walk to the window without waiting for someone to lift you. I met a man named Walter in his late 70s who still walks around his block every morning. He leans on a walking stick, takes his time, but he does it rain or shine. I asked him once why he never skips a day. He smiled and said, "The moment I stop moving is the moment I start waiting for someone else. And I don't want to wait, I want to live." His steps aren't quick, but they are his, and that makes all the difference. Walter doesn't walk just for exercise. He walks to remind himself that his body still belongs to him, not to age, not to decline. That sense of ownership over your own movement, whether it's a lap around the block or a climb up the porch steps, gives a kind of peace no one else can hand you. You don't have to run races, you just need to keep yourself in motion. Stretch while the kettle heats. Take an extra lap down the hallway. Practice standing on one leg near the counter. Tiny things, repeated daily, build into something powerful. They keep your body honest and your spirit steady. Because when you trust your legs, you stop worrying quite so much about being a burden. And let's be real, staying mobile isn't about being perfect. Some days you'll ache. Some days you'll move slowly. That's all right. What matters is that you keep showing up for yourself. Money is another kind of support we don't always think about. Not the amount, but the clarity. Complicated finances feel like a heavy backpack you can't take off. Too many accounts, too many credit cards, subscriptions you forgot about. They create constant worry. And in older age, worry is one of the heaviest weights you can carry. I think of Clara, a 75-year-old widow I once spoke with. Her husband had left behind a tangle of bills and accounts. For years, she lived with a knot in her stomach every time the mail arrived. She admitted she used to stack unopened envelopes on the counter just to avoid the dread of what might be inside. Finally, she sat down, cancelled the extras, combined what she could, and wrote her whole financial picture on a single sheet of paper. She told me later, "I finally feel like I can breathe again." That's the gift of simplicity. It isn't about cutting back until life feels small. It's about knowing where you stand. Maybe that means cancelling a couple of things you never use, or deciding to keep just one credit card. Maybe it means writing down exactly what comes in and what goes out, so you don't lie awake wondering. When your finances are simple, you don't need to rely on family to explain the fine print. You don't need to feel embarrassed to ask for help balancing a checkbook. You're the captain of your own ship again. And that feeling, that calm, can be worth more than money itself. And since we're here, let me ask, are you working on simplifying your money right now? If so, leave a comment with the number 2. I'd love to know who's walking that road with me. One of the most underrated supports in later life is routine. A steady rhythm to your days. Not something fancy or expensive, just small, repeatable habits that tell your body and your mind, you still matter. There's a man named Edmund, early 80s, retired teacher. Every single morning he does the same things. Drinks a glass of warm water, takes his pills, stretches in his chair for a few minutes, and then walks slowly around the block. He told me, "It's not about staying fit. It's about reminding myself every morning that I'm still here and I still count." And you know what? That struck me. Because for Edmund, the routine isn't about chasing youth. It's about identity. It's about telling himself, day after day, I am still me. Now that's the power of routine. It takes away the question mark. Should I do this today? And replaces it with certainty. You don't have to decide over and over, you just do it. And the more predictable your habits, the steadier your days feel. Maybe for you, it's as simple as keeping a full glass of water by your bed so you drink it first thing. Maybe it's taking a short walk at the same time each day, or setting a reminder so your medications never slip your mind. Whatever it looks like, your routine becomes a net that catches you when the fog rolls in. It keeps you moving, even on the heavy days. The older we get, the more life asks us to carry. Friends move, spouses pass, children drift away. The question isn't whether it will hurt. The question is whether the pain will break us or shape us. I remember Ruth, 77, who lights a lantern every evening after dinner. Some nights she cries, some nights she laughs, but the light reminds her she's still here. That little act is her anchor. Resilience doesn't mean pretending you're fine. It means letting yourself feel deeply and still saying, I can carry this. And each time you do, you grow less afraid of tomorrow. There are gentle ways to strengthen that muscle. Write a few honest lines in a notebook before bed. When worry grips you, step to the window and take 10 slow breaths. Or make a small ritual once a week, maybe a walk in the park, or just sitting on a bench with the sun on your face. These aren't dramatic things, but they build the quiet knowledge that you can stand tall, even when life bends you low. They remind you that your spirit is not fragile. It is seasoned. It has walked through storms before. If you're focusing on resilience right now, let me know by commenting with the number 4. I always enjoy reading who's walking that journey. When the titles and roles fade, worker, spouse, parent, what keeps you anchored? For many, it's a personal code of values, your own compass. I once met Mr. Hernandez, a soft-spoken man in his 80s. He told me he has 4 simple rules: return what you borrow, tell the truth, never waste food, and forgive before sleep. Nothing complicated, yet people noticed the way he carried himself. Steady, calm, dignified, because he knew who he was. Living by your own values makes choices simpler. You don't waste nights wondering if you did the right thing. You already know, because your compass is clear. And when the storms of life come, and they will, you don't panic. You just ask, what do my values say? And then you follow that. You might try writing down 5 things that matter most to you. Put them on the fridge or by the mirror where you'll see them. Look at them each week and let them guide you. It's not about whether anyone else agrees. It's about whether you can look in the mirror and say, I live true to myself. That's success. That's peace. So let's bring it all together. The strongest supports in later life aren't always the people around you. Sometimes they're the ones you build inside yourself. The freedom of mobility, the calm of simple finances, the steadiness of routine, the courage of resilience, and the compass of values. Those 5 don't vanish when the phone doesn't ring or when a neighbor moves away. They're yours to build and yours to keep. And when you've got them, you'll find you never really feel alone. I know it's easy to look back and wish things were different, that your family called more, that your friends stayed closer, but wishing doesn't build strength. Choosing does. And every time you choose to take a short walk, to simplify one corner of your life, to stick to a small daily habit, to face your emotions honestly, or to live by your code, you are laying bricks in the foundation of your independence. So here's a gentle challenge. Think about which of these supports you already lean on, and then pick one you'd like to strengthen starting today. It doesn't take grand gestures. Big change always begins with one small, quiet choice. Thank you for spending this time with me. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Which support matters most to you right now? And if you haven't subscribed yet, consider joining us so you don't miss the next conversation. Your support helps us keep creating these reflections for our community. Until next time, take care of yourself. And remember, the best supports in life are often the ones you build with your own 2 hands and your own steady heart.